Chapter 26. The Dead. They said it would be 10 days, so this should be considered day 0, right? Lin Ting covered her mouth and nose with one hand and continued. If you go out now, you won't be able to see the road soon, especially since there are no street altered here. Teacher realized Lin Ting had a point, so he quietly walked to a clean shelf and sat down. He was indeed feeling anxious, having forgotten to check the time. But he couldn't wait to escape this haunted place and see his wife. To meet you, Nian, that girl who liked wearing white. Xiao An, I will escape this hellhole soon. He murmured. Just wait. We'll be rich soon. TXIA's expression was different from the others. He was not panicked or sorrowful, just a bit anxious. As night fell, everyone found clean spots to sit. Luckily, it wasn't too cold, but hunger was settling in. They hadn't eaten or drunk anything for almost a day, making everyone feel weak. No one spoke. They just watched the earthy yellow sun sink, the world plunging into darkness. The day felt like a horrifying nightmare for everyone, all hoping that when they opened their eyes again, everything would disappear. The city seemed to fall silent, brewing something unknown. Distant sounds drifted in, yet indistinct. It was too dark here, dark enough to not tell if their eyes were even open. Growing up in the city, they had never experienced such pitch-black nights. Hey, you asleep? Jing suddenly asked Tizhou. What? Do you think there are other participants here? Tizhou paused. I've thought about it. The dragon of people said millions had come through the door, so logically, there should be more than just us 9. Jing fell silent, then asked, what if that female clerk is one of those who came through the door? Huh? Tizhou was slightly taken aback. He hadn't thought of it that way. That woman looked like she had lived here for years, but upon further thought, it didn't conflict. It could be 10 years or 10 days. What mattered was that according to the dragon of people, this place would vanish in 10 days. They may have different starting points, but the same ending. Luckily, they probably wouldn't go completely insane like the female clerk, since they only had to endure 10 days. Regardless, there would be a result after 10 days. Hey, you asleep? Jing repeated, in your hand, turning his head to the side, seriously pondering today's events. What was the cause of all this weirdness? Without a reply, Jing fell silent as well. Soon, 2 others began to speak in the darkness, sounding like Drive, Xiao and Officer Li. Dr. Xiao. What? I want to ask, can a woman in long-term malnutrition still conceive? Dr. Xiao hesitated, realizing what Officer Li meant. The female clerk looked like she hadn't eaten in ages. Yet how could she give birth? Others seemed interested too, quietly waiting for his answer. Doc denied his thoughts and said, it's complex. Prolonged malnutrition can disrupt a woman's menstrual cycle, even lead to menopause. In short, lack of essential nutrients can prevent ovulation, thus making conception impossible. So, is this another inexplicable scientific mystery? Officer Li asked, his tone serious. That clerk's health looks poor. Can't draw conclusions. In some regions of Africa, nutrient intake is low, yet birth rates are high. Doctor, but this isn't my field. It involves individual constitution and key nutrient intake, and I don't know much. After that, Officer Li fell silent, was again steeped in silence. Tizhou didn't want to sleep, but in total darkness. Perception blurred, and eventually, he ceased thinking, accompanied by the street's tranquil rustling. TXIA's eyelids grew heavy. He lost track of when he fell asleep. In his dreams, he saw Uni on air. Xiao, do you know? There are many paths in this world, and everyone has their own. Yes, Xiao An. I know. Tizhou nodded. I'll be out soon. Just wait. Time passed how long? He couldn't tell when suddenly, a loud, thunderous bell rang in his ear. Tizhou opened his eyes, hurriedly standing up, finding daylight outside. Turning back, everyone was in shock, looking around just like him. The bell had startled them away. What happened? Xiao ran instinctively, hid behind Officer Li. Before anyone could react, a strange cough echoed from the corner of the room. It sounded like someone was choking. Xiao turned slowly, realizing the horrifying scene. Han Wai Aimu lay on the ground. A massive black sword plunged into his abdomen, as if hammered down, most of it embedded in the earth. He was coughing up blood, gasping, "Hey, Writer!" Tiao Jing rushed over to check on him. "Cough, Kaizhou." Han Wai Aimo stretched out his hand, his voice unnatural, sounding less like pain or fear, and more like confusion. Tizhao frowned, then knelt beside him, grasping Han Wai Aimo's hand. "I'm here," he replied, looking up at the intact ceiling. The sword didn't appear to have fallen from above. Han Wai Aimo's lips moved. His eyes began to glisten, and after a whimper, he started to cry. This place is wrong. Kaizhou, this can't happen. This seven black sword, absolutely impossible. Kaizhou, seven black sword is. His coughing grew louder, unable to finish a sentence. Blood sprayed from his mouth, spilling into his nose. Han Wai Aimo coughed violently, then suddenly stiffened, losing vitality in a struggle to breathe. Uttering just a few words exhausted all his strength. Indeed, a truly dying person wouldn't have so much time for lost words. Then came the silence, long silence. Everyone knew Han Wai Aimo had more to say, but time was clearly insufficient. A vibrant life extinguished before their eyes. Seeing Han Wai Aimo's lifeless gaze, Tizhao frowned, suddenly experiencing a splitting headache. He pressed his forehead, crouching down as if something was trying to burst from his mind. Then let out a heart-rending scream. Before the others could fully process Han Wai Aimo's death, a scream startled them again. "Hey, you okay?" Tiao Jing cautiously asked. After half a minute of silence, Tizhao slowly calmed his breathing, saying, "I'm fine. Let's check on Han Wai Aimo." Seeing Tizhao seemingly unaffected, they turned their attention back to Han Wai Aimo's corpse. Feelings mixed. A thought spiraled in their minds. Are they truly dead? Does a person die again after dying? Han Wai Aimo was murdered. Xiao Ran whispered. The phrase murdered jolted everyone awake. Yes, now they had to consider not if one can die again, but who the murderer is. When Han Wai Aimo was found, he was still conscious, meaning the massive sword had just pierced him. In other words, his killer hadn't gone far, likely hiding among the remaining 8.